Hey guys, your boy Chili here. Welcome back to Genesis ROM hacking. In this video, we are going to modify the magic missile spell a little bit. Now, there's not a huge issue I have with the way the spell works currently. I mean, it's a very simple spell. You roll a 1d6, you add 1, that's how much damage you get. You can't dodge it. It's just, you hit him, right? It's very simple, level 1 spell. And that's what it does in here. Now there is actually a little wrinkle to Magic Missile. So you get multiple missiles if you're high level. So you get 1 missile plus 2 more for every 5 levels. So if you're level 5, you would get 3 missiles. If you're level 10, you would get 5 missiles. All right? And that's what this code here is actually doing. So it loads your level, masks out the low nibble because that's the part that contains the level. Then it divides it by 5. Then it multiplies that by 2, adding it to itself. And it uses that value to loop. And because of the way DBF works, if it were, for example, if your level was 5, you get 2 additional missiles. So this would loop 3 times total. It would run this RNG function 3 times. And it's just rolling a 1d6 plus 1. 3 times if you were level 5. Exactly. 1 time if you were level 1 or 2. And then it calls damage resolution with the amount of damage in D0. And the enemy takes that amount of damage. So it's super simple. Now, one of the problems I have with this is that it's such a trash spell in this game. Like, compared to things like darkness, things like sleep. With darkness, you can incapacitate like a giant, right? And that allows you guys to take him down pretty easily. With this, like, you're going to do like 3 or 4 damage to something. That's like not even enough really to take down a beastman in most cases, or a boar. It's very underwhelming. And now, when you get into the higher levels, it gets a little better. It might be worthwhile considering. Level 5, you get 3, so you're rolling 3, maybe average 4.5 times 3. That's like 13 damage maybe on average. That's pretty good. That's not bad. You might think about that. But level 1, it's just trash in this game. So, and I also, one of my goals is to start using intelligence more. So I want to buff this thing a little bit based on your intelligence score. And I was thinking about it, how I can do it. I think you just add damage based on your intelligence modifier. So if you've got 18 intelligence, you just add 3 to the base damage. And I think it's like the magic missile is pretty good in the higher levels. It's just in level 1 and the low levels where it kind of sucks. So I think we just add the flat damage to not for every roll, but just at the end. Now, an interesting thing about magic missile in the rules, you can specify different targets, so you can split them up. And that would be difficult. If we're going to add flat damage to the whole thing, that wouldn't work. But in this game, you're not allowed to select the multiple targets, so it works fine. And I'm fine with not being able to target multiple. It's just like it would be a nightmare to try to implement that. So I just want to add a little something that makes intelligence a little better, and that maybe incentivizes using magic missile at low levels. Maybe, probably not, but maybe in some situations. So I'm just going to replace this entire routine with my own hook and just call detour from here. And then after that, branch to this one. So my own hook will return the damage in D0, so it'll mate very nicely. And that's just right in here. The active character sheet pointer is in A3. So we did decide how many dice we're going to roll. And that is calling get the level, divide by 5, multiply by 2, add 1. That's the number of dice. Now, in the original code, they did a loop. But what I realized was that, so if I roll 6d6, or if I roll nd6, but I have to roll nd6 plus 1. Well, what if I just add n to the roll? Because this is a flat thing that's added after you roll n dice. So if I were rolling 3 dice, it would just be 3d6 plus 3, and that's my total damage. And then I don't have to do a loop. Well, the loop happens inside this function, but whatever. So that's fine. A little cleaner in the code. And if it's not a monster. Remember, we got to exclude monsters from attribute tests. If it's not a monster, I don't know if any monster can cast Magic Missile. Maybe not, but just in case, we exclude monsters, but we're going to take the intelligence, we're going to add that to the total damage, and then we're going to return that from this function. And there you go. So then we just call our thunk, and then we immediately branch to damage resolution. D0 contains the amount of damage. I didn't even bother changing these comments that I had in there before, but there you go. This is Magic Missile all done. Now, you might have noticed a couple of things. First thing you might have noticed is, hey, wait a minute, Chili, you're doing division in your C++ code. I thought that you created a special function called, let me see if I can find it here, called divide that did the division because you couldn't do it. And so, yeah, if you look at the original, you see they're doing a division here. So I read this, and I'm like, wait a minute. When I tried to do division in C++, it tried to call a function. Like it wasn't able just to emit those instructions. It had to call a standard library function to do the division. And so when I saw that, I sort of assumed at that point, I did a couple of different checks, but I came to the conclusion, they just must not support division on this processor. I didn't even try to see if the opcode existed. I just said, well, the compiler is doing weird shit, so maybe it just doesn't exist. And it does exist. There is an unsigned and assigned division and multiplication on the baseline M68K. So I'll show this in the next video. I implemented it so that I can use division normally in C++. It took a little fancy work, but I was able to get that working. And I'll show you that in the next video. But yeah, that's one interesting thing that doing this made me realize. But yeah, other than that, maybe that's it. That's how it works. So let's just take it for a test drive. Now, Keeb doesn't know Magic Missile, so Buddy is gonna have to do us up a good one here, do us a solid. Let's rest the party, and now we are going to change the spell list for Buddy. We're gonna put 2 Magic Missiles in there. And we're not going to change it for Keeb, we're not going to change it for Marjorie, and we are going to rest for 8 hours. Now Buddy has Magic Missile, and if we could find a combat, we can test that shit out. Maybe throw down a breakpoint. Here we go, here's a good one. Alright, let's just... I can't activate it from here. Okay, well, we're going to get hit. That wasn't so bad. So we set a breakpoint. And not you. Magic Missile on this jabroni. Bam! Here's our breakpoint. Well, son of a bitch, I put the breakpoint after my hook. Dumbass. Okay, what did he roll anyways? D0 contains 8. So there's 8 damage. So already you see that that's more than would be possible if we didn't have the intelligence bonus. So that's a pretty high roll. That's cool. Let's set a breakpoint in a more propitious location, let's just go 10005A. I'll put a breakpoint on our thunk. Okay, continue. Yeah, suck it, nerd. Okay, I'm gonna make you blind so you don't kill any of my dudes. Maybe. Blind? Yeah, there you go. All right, I'm gonna go back to our character. Yeah, you missed me because you blind. Alright, and now we're going to do Magic Missile, and this time it's going to trigger on our thunk. Okay, let's step here. Steppers. So what are we doing? We're loading level into D2. Let's spice things up a little bit. Let's set him to level 5 so that he gets additional missiles. So we'll do D2 is equal to 5. Alright, we mask. Now here's the very interesting thing about what happened here. So this is interesting, but it's also not, that's something I want to talk about in the next video. But you see in here, it's not using the divide instruction, it's actually using multiplication to perform the division. So it has managed to optimize at the opcode level and figure out, I want to divide by a constant value 5, and you can actually do that by doing multiplication and shifting and some other bullshit, and doing overflow carry. So, and the compiler did some good work, is what I'm trying to say. Made things a lot faster. But after we do all this bullshit, dividing D2 should now contain level divided by 5, which is 1, which is correct. Now it's going to double that by adding. It's going to add an additional 1 because you get 1 magic missile by default. Now it is filling up the registers in order to call our thunk that calls into the roll function. So it's filling up D3 with the 6, so it's rolling a D6. D2 is the number of dice to roll. D1 is also 6. That's the offset, right? Because we're rolling... No, it's not the offset. I don't know. One of them, A0 is the offset, I think. Yeah. So add 3. We're rolling 3 D6 and then we're adding 3. We have to move the address of our function that we're calling into A1. And then we do A1, which is going to roll us some dice into D0. And so we get a B, which is 11. So we rolled 3 dice, we added 3, and we got 11. That's not bad. That's like about average, right? Now we're going to check to see whether we're a monster or not. And if we are not a monster, we're going to load our intelligence, and we're going to add a bonus. This is interesting. So yeah, we load D0, which is the bonus, which is 1, because it doesn't have super high intelligence. Assign extend that. And it's actually performing the addition by doing a move effective address. No. That's not right. So the bonus is in D0. The roll is in D1. It is going to move that into A0 and is going to perform the addition by doing a load effective address, basically A0 offset by D0. So it's adding D0 to A0 by doing load effective address. Why? Why does the compiler choose to do things in this way? Who knows? Who knows? It could be that it's more efficient. It could be that the compiler is, shitting the bed a little bit. It doesn't matter in the end. It works. So we got C worth of damage, which is like 12. My other breakpoint, 12 damage. So that's pretty good. That's a solid amount of damage. So yeah, everything is working as intended. And that is Magic Missile. And that also opens the door to the question of, okay, how the heck did Chili get the C++ compiler to do division when it did not want to do division before? And that's a story for the next video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please click the like button. Helps a lot. And I will see you again with some more Genesis ROM hacking.